Ladies and gentlemen, power. It's a word we throw around a lot. Governments have power, corporations have power, some people chase power their whole lives. But the real question is, what kind of power are we talking about? Because the highest form of power isn't about control or dominance. It's about inspiration. It's about transformation. And that's the power of God. See, real power doesn't intimidate, it elevates. It doesn't push people down, it lifts them up. Look at history. The most impactful leaders weren't the ones who ruled with fear. They were the ones who led with faith. The ones who believed in something bigger than themselves. That's the power of God working through people. It's not about making others feel small. It's about calling them to something greater. Power is often misunderstood. We tend to associate it with control, dominance, or the ability to force outcomes. But the most profound form of power doesn't demand submission, it inspires action. It doesn't create fear, it cultivates trust. That's the power of God. It's not about manipulation or coercion, it's about calling people to something greater than themselves. Look at the way history defines power. Kings and rulers exercised power through authority, laws, and armies. They believed power was about making people obey. But the greatest leaders in history weren't the ones who forced obedience. They were the ones who inspired people to follow willingly. That's because true power doesn't push, it pulls. It doesn't make people act out of fear, it makes them move out of faith. Think about the most impactful figures throughout time. Their power wasn't rooted in their ability to control others, but in their ability to inspire belief. When people encountered them, they didn't feel small, they felt seen, they felt called to something greater. That's how God's power works. It doesn't reduce us, it elevates us. It doesn't impose, it invites. And when people feel inspired rather than intimidated, they don't just follow, they commit. We see this kind of power in everyday life. A teacher who believes in a struggling student changes their future, not by demanding compliance, but by inspiring confidence. A leader in business creates loyalty not by ruling with fear, but by fostering trust. A parent who leads with love doesn't have to force respect, it comes naturally. That's because real power isn't about making people feel weak, it's about helping them discover their own strength. God's power operates the same way. It doesn't crush us into obedience. It draws us in, gives us purpose, and transforms our perspective. It turns doubt into faith, hesitation into courage, and uncertainty into conviction. That's why those who understand the power of God don't lead with threats. They lead with vision. They don't seek control, they seek impact. And the most powerful people aren't those who stand above others. They're the ones who lift others up. When we embrace this kind of power, everything changes. It shifts the way we lead, the way we serve, and the way we interact with the world around us. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human nature. It stops people from taking risks, from stepping into the unknown, from pursuing what they truly want. Fear whispers, what if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if you lose everything? And so people stay where they are, trapped in hesitation, avoiding discomfort, choosing safety over growth. But faith transforms fear into action. It takes the same uncertainty that once held us back and turns it into the very thing that pushes us forward. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who move forward isn't that one group feels fear and the other doesn't. Everyone feels fear. The difference is what they do with it. Faith doesn't eliminate fear, but it shifts the focus. It reminds us that we don't have to see the whole path to take the first step. It tells us that uncertainty isn't a stop sign. It's an invitation to trust. The power of God gives people the confidence to act, not because they have every answer, but because they know they don't have to. Every major breakthrough in life happens because someone chose faith over fear. The person who starts a business knowing they might fail. The person who forgives even when they were deeply hurt. The person who walks away from comfort to pursue a calling. They don't do it because they're fearless. They do it because they trust in something greater than their fear. Faith moves people. It makes them step into situations they once avoided, have conversations they once ran from, and chase opportunities they once believed were out of reach. Fear asks, "What if I fall?" But faith responds, "What if you fly?" Power is often seen as the ability to take, to control, to be in charge. But the most powerful force in the world isn't control, it's service. The greatest leaders, the ones who truly leave an impact, don't seek to be the most powerful person in the room. They seek to empower the people around them. That's the power of God. It's not self-serving, it's self-giving. Look at the most influential figures in history. The ones who changed the world weren't the ones demanding recognition. They were the ones who lifted others up. True power isn't about status, it's about impact. And the greatest impact comes from those who serve, who put others first, who understand that leadership isn't about being at the top, but about bringing others with them. When a leader serves, people trust them. When a parent sacrifices, children feel loved. When a business puts people before profit, customers stay loyal. The world teaches that power is about having more, doing more, being more. But God's power shows that the greatest strength is in humility, in generosity, in giving without expecting anything in return. That's the kind of power that transforms lives.